I did everything right. I followed the plan. I worked hard. I built the life everyone said I should want. And one night, sitting alone, I realized something terrifying. I had no idea who I was anymore. This isn't a story about failure. It's a story about success and what it quietly takes from you. Welcome to Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. Listen while you drive, work, or simply seek inspiration. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Had to Prove My Name is Donald. I grew up in a working-class neighborhood in Detroit. My father was a factory worker. My mother was a secretary. We didn't have much, but they wanted more for me. "Donald, you're going to college," my father would say. "You're going to be something." Not someone, something, as in successful, important, respected. And I believed him. I was smart, top of my class. Full scholarship to University of Michigan. I worked harder than everyone else, not because I loved it, but because I had to. Because being something meant I couldn't fail. When I got into Stanford Law, my parents cried, "You did it, Donald. You made it." But I hadn't made it yet. Making it meant graduating top of my class. Making it meant landing a job at a top firm. Making it meant partner before 40. Making it meant never stopping. I graduated second in my class, not first, second, and I was devastated. "Donald, second out of 300 is incredible," my mother said. But it wasn't first, and first was the only thing that mattered. I got a job at a prestigious firm in New York. Started at the bottom, worked 80-hour weeks. I didn't have a life, I had a career, and I told myself, this is what success looks like. When I was 35, I married Claire. She was smart, beautiful, from a good family. We met at a firm event, started dating, got engaged within a year. It made sense. On paper, we were perfect, but I was never really present. I was always working, always thinking about the next case, the next promotion, the next rung on the ladder. We had a son, Michael, then a daughter, Allison, and I loved them. I did, but I was hardly there. Soccer games I missed because of depositions. Birthdays I was late to because of client calls. Dinners where I sat at the table but my mind was somewhere else. Claire would say, "Donald, can you just be here for once?" And I'd say, "I'm providing for this family. That's what I'm doing." But providing wasn't the same as being present. And somewhere along the way, she stopped asking me to be. I'd spent my entire life chasing success, but I'd never stopped to ask, success at what cost? Chapter 2. The Climb That Never Ended. I made partner at 39, youngest in the firm's history. Everyone congratulated me. My parents were so proud. "You made it, Donald. You really made it." But it didn't feel like I'd made it. It felt like I'd just unlocked the next level. Bigger cases, bigger clients, bigger stakes, more pressure, more hours, more of everything except time. Claire and I started growing apart, not fighting, just drifting. We'd have dinner in silence, go to bed at different times, live in the same house but occupy different worlds. When Michael was 12, he asked me to come to his science fair. "I can't, bud. I have a meeting." "You always have a meeting." "I know, but this one's important." "More important than me?" I didn't have an answer. When I was 48, Claire asked for a divorce. Not angrily, just calmly. "Donald, we haven't been happy in years. You know that." "We can work on it." "Can we? You're never here. Even when you're here, you're not really here." "I'm working. I'm providing." "I don't need a provider. I need a partner, and you stopped being that a long time ago." She was right, and I didn't fight it. We split amicably. She got the house, I got the apartment in Manhattan. The kids were old enough to understand. They didn't blame me, but they didn't choose me either. Michael went to college, Allison stayed with Claire, and I was alone. But I didn't slow down. If anything, I worked more, because work was the only thing I knew how to do, the only place where I felt in control. The climb never ended. Because if I stopped climbing, I'd have to face what I was running from. Chapter 3. The victory that felt like nothing. The case that should have been my crowning achievement came when I was 56. A corporate litigation case, massive, complex, high profile. I spent 2 years preparing, barely slept, barely ate, and I won. $30 million settlement. The client was ecstatic. The firm threw a party. "Donald, this is legendary. This is what legacies are made of." And I smiled, said thank you, played the part. But when I got home that night, I sat in my study and felt nothing. No pride, no satisfaction, no sense of accomplishment, just emptiness. I'd spent 30 years chasing this, chasing wins, chasing recognition, chasing proof that I was enough. And now that I had it, I realized it didn't matter. None of it mattered, because I was alone, in a big house, with a big career, and nothing else. I called Michael the next day. "Hey, Dad, congrats on the case. I saw it in the news." "Thanks. You okay? You sound off." "I'm fine, just tired." "When's the last time you took a break?" "I don't know. You should. You've been going non-stop for as long as I can remember." "Yeah, maybe." We talked for a few more minutes, small talk, surface level, and then he had to go. And I sat there, phone in hand, and thought, when did my relationship with my own son become small talk? I'd won the case, but I'd lost everything that actually mattered. Chapter 4. The Reckoning. A few weeks later, I had a health scare. Chest pains, shortness of breath. I thought it was a heart attack. It wasn't. It was a panic attack. The doctor looked at me with concern. "Mr. Harrington, when's the last time you took time off?" "I don't know." "A while." "How long is a while?" "Maybe 10 years." He stared at me. 10 years? "I've been busy." "You need to slow down. Your body is telling you something. You need to listen." But I didn't know how to slow down. Slowing down meant thinking, and thinking meant facing things I'd been avoiding. That night, I did something I hadn't done in years. I opened a bottle of whiskey, sat in my study, and let myself think, really think, about my life, about the choices I'd made, about who I'd become. And I realized I didn't like the person staring back at me, not because I'd done anything wrong, but because I didn't know who that person was. I'd spent 30 years being successful, being driven, being Donald Harrington, Esky. But I had no idea who Donald was outside of that. I called my brother Stephen the next morning. We hadn't talked in months, maybe a year. "Donald, everything okay?" "Yeah, I just wanted to talk." "About what?" "I don't know. Life, I guess." There was a pause. "You sound different." "Do I?" "Yeah. Are you okay?" "I don't think so." Stephen came to visit that weekend. We sat in my study, drank coffee, talked, really talked, for the first time in years. "Donald, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Are you happy?" I opened my mouth to say yes, to say I was fine, to deflect, but I couldn't. "No," I said quietly. "I'm not." "When's the last time you were?" I thought about it. "I don't know. Maybe. Never." He looked at me with sadness. "What are you doing, man?" "I don't know." "You've spent your whole life chasing something. Did you ever stop to ask if it was worth it?" And that was the question I'd been avoiding, because the answer terrified me. Chapter 5. The Decision. I took a leave of absence from the firm, 3 months, unpaid. My partners were shocked. "Donald, are you sure? We have the Henderson case coming up." "I'm sure." "Is everything okay?" "I need time. That's all." The first week was excruciating. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. out of habit, check my email, then remember I wasn't working. I'd sit in my apartment, stare at the walls, feel completely lost. But slowly, something started to happen. Without the noise of work, I started hearing myself. I started noticing things, like how quiet my life was, how little I actually enjoyed. I started asking myself questions I'd never asked. What do I like? What makes me feel alive? Who am I without my career? And I didn't have answers, because I'd spent 30 years defining myself by what I did, not who I was. One afternoon, I went for a walk in Central Park. No destination, just walking. And I saw a group of people playing music, guitar, drums, singing. I stopped and listened, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. Not because of the music, but because of the presence. They weren't performing for anyone. They were just being. And I realized I'd forgotten how to just be. I'd spent 30 years doing, and I'd never learned how to simply exist. Chapter 6. The Rebuild. Over the next few months, I started trying things I'd never made time for. I took a cooking class. Terrible at it, but I enjoyed it. I started going to therapy, really digging into why I was the way I was. I reconnected with Michael and Allison, not as the distant father, but as a person trying to figure things out. One night, Michael and I had dinner, just the two of us. "Dad, can I tell you something?" "Of course. I'm glad you're doing this." "Doing what?" "Taking time, figuring things out. I've never seen you like this." "Like what?" "Present." That word hit me. "I'm sorry I wasn't before." "You don't have to apologize. I'm glad you're here now." I didn't go back to the firm. I resigned. It was terrifying and liberating. I started consulting, part-time, on my terms. I traveled, small trips, places I'd always wanted to see but never made time for. And I started volunteering, teaching legal skills to low-income communities, not for recognition, not for my resume, just because it felt meaningful. I didn't rebuild my life to prove anything. I rebuilt it to finally live it. Chapter 7. The Lesson. It's been 2 years since I took that leave of absence, and I'm not going to tell you everything is perfect. It's not. I still struggle with the need to achieve, to prove, to be enough. But I'm learning. Learning that success isn't about how much you accomplish. It's about how much you actually live. Last month, Allison got married, and I walked her down the aisle. Present, fully present. Afterward, she hugged me and said, "Thanks for being here, Dad. Really here." And I realized that was worth more than every case I'd ever won, because I'd spent 30 years chasing success. But I'd never realized that success without presence is just empty. Conclusion. I'm 58 now. I don't have the corner office anymore. I don't have the prestige. I don't have the endless accolades. But I have something I didn't have 2 years ago. I have myself. So if you're watching this and you've spent your life chasing success, if you've climbed and never felt like you arrived, if you've been running so fast you forgot to ask where you were going, I want you to hear this. It's okay to stop. It's okay to ask if all of this is worth it. It's okay to realize you've been chasing the wrong thing. Success isn't about what you achieve. It's about who you become. And if you've lost yourself in the pursuit, it's not too late to find yourself again. This is Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more honest stories about ambition, identity, and the courage to stop running. Thanks for listening. And remember, the life you're chasing might not be the life you actually want. See you in the next story.